I'll talk about cotillion.
Cotillion.
That's really, you eat cotillion too, right? Save it for the pod. Save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod.
God damn. Welcome back to Twink Twank Twunk, everybody. I am your co-host, Zach. I've climbed every one of the tallest mountains in every country. I'm deathly afraid of heights, and I don't know how to hold my breath. Watch this. Oh, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. Weak diaphragm, you know.
My name is DIVOS, and girls that spend time with me have climbed the tallest mountain in every country. That's sick in the head. That's absolutely sick in the head. I am your favorite piece of walking, talking, visual art. Yes, I spend most of my time at the intersection of glamour and comedy. But sometimes when I have some free time, I go over and I spend a little bit of time with my good friends in the zone of cuckoo bananas.
Welcome back to another episode of Twink Twank Twunk. I like starting with this question sometimes.
Okay.
How are you doing? Really?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I do want to address the glamour.
Yeah.
Sorry for the glamour.
Sorry for the glam.
One of the Drag Race girls has a song that it's like a club mix. It goes like, excuse the glamour. Excuse the glamour.
I love good EDM songs. EDM, or that remix something like fun and fresh. Excuse the glamour. Pass the salsa. Pass the salsa.
Yes. Oh, slide the queso. Slide the queso. Grab the guac. Grab the guac.
Pour the beer. Pour the beer. Uns.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was telling Zach before we started, it feels like we're like the end of the year banquet for the pod. Like,
yes.
I feel like...
Ooh.
I know, but really this is just the pre-Pride Month celebration podcast. We're 1 week away from the debut of DIVOS Pride Month.
Oh my, I can't wait. I can't wait to show the world what you produced. I can't wait for you to show the world what you produced.
And I'm excited for you to see it too, because you haven't, it's no fault to anyone, but you haven't been all that hands-on with this year.
I have not.
You honestly don't know what's going on. So I'm excited for you. You've seen some spoilers.
True.
You've seen some spoilers.
But yeah, I haven't been. I haven't been able to film locations yet. You know, I haven't seen all behind the scenes, which I want to before it's produced, before it's released,
before we're done shooting.
Yes, I think we'll discuss off the pod, but I hope that there's time.
Hopefully, there's time. Well, ideally, I always try to get it done before June, but inevitably, we have to push some of the shooting into June. As long as it's done before the scheduled date, we're good to go. But you asked how I'm doing.
No, I asked how you're doing. Really, also be careful with this. Jostles like that.
He didn't want to hold my hand.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, that's all I wanted.
I'm like,
ooh, Mary! Oh my god, this is kind of a wedding look.
No, I do like that.
Do you think? Okay, wait. Here's a question.
What's the question?
And then we'll circle back.
Yeah. We'll touch base.
Do you think if I showed up like this to a wedding, do you think this is too much? Do you think it'd be like, oh, you're grabbing attention?
The full drag.
This top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Would that be too much? If someone didn't ask me to come and drag, would they be like annoyed? Do you think?
I think so. At a wedding, probably. It's just like you don't show up in a white dress. You just don't want to take attention away from the bride and the groom.
So showing up how I am makes you uncomfortable. Makes you feel like that I'm taking things. Oh.
I tell you what, if you did it unannounced, if you dressed it ahead of time, I think it'd be fine.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I agree.
Oh wait, what? How am I feeling really?
How are you feeling really?
I actually wanted to be vulnerable.
Please,
the pod. This might be one of the first times I'm really speaking from the heart, not an inch of sarcasm. Now I'm having trouble actually. Okay. I want to tell you that I am so happy and thankful that you do this podcast with me. No, I'm serious. I know that this is my project that I really wanted to do. And I know you're excited about it and you have fun with it, but it's still taking time out of your schedule all the time. And you're still not getting to do other things that you probably want to do this podcast. And it means, like, I can't explain how much it means to me.
Of course. it's a really fun way just to like spend time with you every week, you know? I love it.
That was very hard. I'm not very good at that kind of.
I know.
Oh my gosh, how did I do?
Oh, I was finding the nerves to like not trust you or like yes and you know, just because like you know.
That's usually what we do.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're so close. Sometimes I realize that I feel like you know how I'm feeling all the time. Mostly yes. But I think there's something to be said about sometimes you should communicate both good and bad feelings when they're 100%. Happening.
I think we as best friends could do a better job about communicating like things that are obvious or obvious in our minds.
Right.
But like, you know, it's fun to be like that. Like, of course I knew that. But it's cool to hear.
It's nice to hear.
Yeah. A little food for thought for all moments.
So how do we take this back to stupid?
I have a great idea.
Okay.
So we look glamorous. We look wonderful. All I can think about is cotillion. That's all I can think about.
Oh my god.
I mean, you want to know what I learned in cotillion? What? If there are 3 buttons in a suit, san, S-A-N, sometimes, always, never. So you always button your middle button. Sometimes your top one, never the bottom button. Never. You're not supposed to do it.
But no buttons when you're seated, right?
No buttons when you're seated. But then when you stand up,
ooh. He's bulking. Oh my, you're just a headless torso in camera. Just how we want you. Oh my god.
No, you did cotillion as well. Because I did.
Glamorous. Yes. Yeah. Well, part of the DIVOS canon, one of my one-liners is about cotillion.
I recall, yeah.
Yeah. So when DIVOS is asked, like, oh, like, when did you start doing drag? I go, well, I actually started performing gender when my mom made me wear a blazer to cotillion at age 13. And it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's growing up. I guess that's the first time that you're really introduced to adult gender norms in terms of fashion and presentation. So what an interesting and thought-provoking response, DIVOS. Thank you so much.
That's never once been perceived that way. I will give you all the more accurate response. Okay.
I know. But I'm not going to stop saying it.
I think it might just be a bit too witty for people, frankly. Like
they're not ready for it.
They're not ready for it. They're not. Rue will love it. Rue will love it.
Oh my gosh. Redacted. Tony Soto, one of the hosts in West Hollywood, I lose him immediately at performing gender. Yeah. He's like, okay, like new generations, like calm the fuck down, like you're a man in a wig. Phone it in, Mary.
Which sometimes that perspective is good to kind of rein you back to fun. You know?
Keep it
ground
serious.
you a little bit.
Keep it unserious.
I'm not gonna ground you. God knows.
No, you let me float away.
Oh heavens. Oh, but wait. I have one funny story about cotillion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it worked in Virginia on the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
But over here we would like show up in our suits in like middle school. We do a couple dances with some girls. You get assigned a date. At some point, you talk with your date. You get to know them. Okay. And like in the midst of the conversation, they open up the cookies and the Sprite. And the girls stay in their seats, and they collect the cookies from the people that come around. And the men, the boys, we stand up and go get the Sprite and bring them back. So obviously, when I stand up, I have to, button my coat as I walk away. I start away. I get 2 things of Sprite. I come back. I realize I have to unbutton my jacket before. So I had to do that. Holding both things of Sprite in my hands.
How did you do it?
It was hard. And the girl just watched me. She just stared at me. I know.
Oh, so she was seeing if you could handle that kind of thing.
Yeah, she was. And I did it. It just took me an embarrassing long time.
Wow.
I then won an award for the tango.
You won one of the awards?
I did win one of the awards, yeah. I was in like the final 4 or something like that.
I remember I was like, oh my gosh, they're really judging us on this. Because it's kind of savage. Like, if you've never been to cotillion, at least mine, everyone's dancing and then they walk around and they like tap you on their shoulder like, thank you so much, you can sit down.
Yeah.
Basically meaning you flopped.
You sucked.
Yeah.
Which, for those that don't know, cotillion is supposed to like teach you manners and like teach you how to dress like proper adults.
Proper.
It's pretty old fashioned, in my opinion. It's kind of like a debutante ball almost. Like, and so it teaches you manners. My woman taught us about, she said, she was German. She said, don't take out a subprime mortgage that you can't afford.
And just before or after the Sprite?
She said before.
Oh my gosh.
For those that don't know, cotillion is like supposed to teach you manners as a young adult, or not even an adult, as a young person.
Like 13, right?
Middle school.
Do you remember getting your schedule in like middle school and high school?
Oh, loved it.
What is the adult equivalent of that? Because I'm waiting for it.
It was awesome.
It's like so major. You find out who you're going to spend your whole year with. Like you figure out your teachers, you figure out your schedule.
I loved it.
It's literally your social calendar, your work calendar, and like your bosses all at the same time.
I know. I mean, the thing is now, like you make your own schedule. So it's like, would you be okay with like someone else telling you what your schedule is at this point?
I mean, only if it was in like the school context of like, this is what you have to do.
Sure.
You know?
And everyone's doing it, I guess.
I'm like, when the festival season is announced, like, I don't know.
Actually, yeah, that would be it. When the Coachella lineup drops, or the Outside Lands lineup drops. Okay. That would be the closest thing. I agree. What a thrill.
What a thrill.
You walk up to like the, it was always in their cafeteria. That's where they set the tables. You get your schedule. You compare with your friends. Like, oh, I have this class with this teacher.
You want to know what I did?
What?
So I was in band all 6 years of middle school and high school. But in like, I remember very specifically junior year of high school, everyone, like, it was the things like post on Instagram your schedule.
I remember
I had band 6th period, and I cropped 6th and 7th period out because I didn't want people to know I was in band.
Really?
I was self-conscious about band of all things.
Band is awesome.
I'm like, I had other things to hide besides blowing on the clarinet.
Weird hill to die on. Okay,
I know. I really made it to scene. I played the marimba in the marching band one year.
Wait, clarinet and marimba?
Well, so I was on the cross country team. I was really good at cross country and track. And so I couldn't make it to enough of the marching band practices to like learn the marches.
Yeah.
So I was asked if I wanted to do the marimba. And so the marimba is this like huge keyboard, essentially kind of like a mega xylophone. And I got to do the cymbal too.
Oh, that's...
I know. So I'm actually really good at like hand maneuvering the marimba. But my friend Megan Lee and we didn't take it too seriously, I'll say. And my school had just gotten a new band director that was like, we're turning this around. Like we are. So I was like a part of the first class that was like reshaping the narrative. Sure. And so we did Les Mis for the marching band.
You Les Mis?
I did Les Mis. And I'm like standing at the front of the track, right? You know, the football field's behind me. I had my marimba. And there was this huge cymbal crash that I was supposed to hit like every week. I was on the field for 6 of football games. We hit the cymbal crash correctly once. And it was like one of those things where it's like everyone's waiting for, you know, like leads up to this and it's like cymbal crash. And band was just, I couldn't get myself to care. Like, I don't know why. I like, you know, oh my gosh. I'm like nervous to talk about this because it's not my brand, like not caring, but
wow. It
was a huge performance. You know, the whole school was watching. And every week, Darren and I are like, you know, if we get it, we get it. Like the fucking gumption.
I am so surprised.
Right?
That's like not on brand at all, actually.
I know. I don't know what it was. I think maybe the music that we were doing wasn't interesting to me. Or like,
I'm sorry, but.
I know, but I just, you know, I feel like especially when given the opportunity to perform, I like to blow people out of the water. But I just, with band, it wasn't.
You were in your performance era at that point.
I wasn't
like, quite yet. You were in your performance
era. I would eat
era.
it up now.
Oh my god, you would kill it. You go,
yeah.
Ah!
Maybe that's my new talent, marimba.
That would be kind of fun.
So it would be so easy to get into bars.
Oh, it's just, well, it folds up, so you can kind of like side limits on the side.
No, not the marimba. You don't walk with the marimba. The marimba is seated in front. So I didn't even march. It was literally, honestly, it's so big you can't walk with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, it's not like a xylophone. It's like
I'm imagining the marching bands.
No. This one literally got rolled out.
Oh my god.
I know.
You played that?
That's what I played.
Nicely done. I played the trumpet first. Actually, the trumpet, and then I switched to French horn for a little while. And basically what happened is I got bored or just frustrated with having to hold it like this. All it was like, it was a heavy instrument, you know? So what I did once, I brought my trumpet to band one day. My band director was like, where's the French horn? I'm like, I left it at home. I just did that for like a week, and then she just stopped asking.
She got the memo.
Yeah, I just kept playing the trumpet at that point.
That's dauntless of you. Oh my god.
And it worked. My band teacher did not like me. My mom hates her. Her name, Mrs. Yeager was her name.
Name drop.
I will out her because anyone from my high school or from any high schools in the area that knew her, had her as a teacher, will attest she was a bad music teacher.
Wow.
She killed my passion for playing music in the school.
That is sad.
Which I know it is sad. Just because I was like a squirrely little kid. She like didn't like me and like wouldn't give me good parts and just like kind of sucked as a teacher in general.
Aww.
And one time, You know the song, Just Another Brick in the Wall? She got one of her kids to, like, play the trumpet for it. Do you know the song?
No.
Like, hey, sister, leave them kids alone. It's by Pink.
But okay.
Oh, doesn't matter. But she sang, like, in one of our recitals, she sang as a kid playing the instrument. She was bad, and it was just like, what are you doing?
Oh my god, I can't with that.
No, it was awful. So my mom does not like her because she credits Mrs. Yeager with killing my passion for music.
Well, it seems like she did.
Well, a little bit, yeah. I still play guitar. I play guitar, and I can still play the trumpets. And I can play the recorder with my nose.
I was about to make you tell that story, but first I wanted to actually tell that story. This is a key Zach moment.
This is a key Zach
This
moment.
is his college essay, everyone.
So I was at a summer camp when I was younger, and I met this guy who could play the recorder, you know, like the recorder, like the little flute thing. He could play it with his nose. I was like, that is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my entire life. So the second I got back, I ordered one on Amazon, and for like at least a semester or two, I would just walk around my high school playing the fucking recorder with my nose. And I learned...
Like in the hallways?
Yes! I was dauntless with it. I just walked out going, toot, 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 toot. I love the attention. And I would play Mad World. I don't know who it's by. All around me are familiar faces. That song. I could play like the Jurassic Park theme song. I could play Silent Night. I like My Heart Will Go On. I had a repertoire.
Wow.
So
you were a nose recorder guy.
I was a nose recorder guy.
Wow.
And where the performance aspect really started was actually my high school talent show. I mean, you've seen the act before. I've replicated it since. But basically what I did, I wore a black turtleneck. I put on black eyeliner. I wore black pants. I got one of my good friends to play piano for me. And I walked out onto stage like deadpan with a guitar case. A guitar case. I kind of looked around, scouted a little bit, put it down, opened it up, waited a beat, and then pulled out a recorder from the guitar case. And then my friend starts playing the piano bit to Mad World. There's a little bit of a lead up. And then I put it in my nose. I start playing. The crowd goes wild. The only reason I didn't win was I missed a note halfway through. Instead of just carrying on as those in showbiz do, into the microphone, I said, fuck, like pretty loudly. And the whole audience heard.
You were such a character in high school. That is so crazy.
I know. I was pretty proud of it.
And you literally wrote that and it got you into UCLA. That was your college essay, right?
My college essay was about my nose recorder, yeah. So I've lived such a troubled life
Such a troubled life.
The nose recorder was the thing that got me.
Yeah, I mean, you really had to share how much you'd been through.
Wow. I'm glad you see me.
Yeah, I do see you. One of my favorite moments of high school was when we were on like the last band trip. My band teacher was like, so Devin, like what schools are you going to? And I know, not that there's anything wrong with like community colleges or anything, but I knew that he thought that I had not gotten into any educational universities. He's like, he's going to go to a trade school. I just didn't put my energy there. And I was like, yeah, so I'm looking between UCLA, NYU, and UVA. And I'm just like, his face was like, oh. And I ate it up. I love. I mean, we kind of share that. I loved being like the sneaky smart person.
I love it.
So major.
I know. Good reminder. We are both UCLA educated people. We graduated.
You know what we both got on our ACT? This is so nerdy. You know what we both got on our ACT?
35, baby.
35.
We are smart.
I know.
We are smart. I have a similar story. My ex-girlfriend who I dated in high school, she had a very good best friend. She didn't like me. I didn't like her. Like, I'm sure now there would be no ill will, but in the moment, it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
And when I told her that I got to UCLA, her face, I can eat it with a fork. Eat it with a fork. God.
There's like a magic to that in like high school. I feel like I couldn't pull that off anymore. Like I feel like I couldn't be like play dumb well enough where if something major happened, people would be like, how did you do that? But also I don't want to anymore. I'm happy just existing on the higher plane.
Never do you care about like knows you're smart, knows your accomplishments, you know?
Right.
Although you have underplayed your college accolades. I think most of our friends. I think they would be shocked if they knew that you ran a whole research project based on like, was it like not facial recognition, But it was like the three-dimensional diagrams about like police behavior and violence and like threats and stuff. I guarantee like almost none of our friends know that.
Yeah, so I was in a cognitive science lab for 3/4 or so, like a full academic year, and we were looking at the top.
I didn't explain it well enough.
I just thought maybe some people would be interested in the correct jargon, you know?
No, I can't.
We were looking at the top-down and bottom-up processes that artificial intelligence could potentially use to identify threat in figures via visual cues and in video cameras. So it would help not only educate police officers who frequently get that information wrong, but it would also be able to use in like big group environments where cameras could be like, okay, if you raise your hand at this speed, likely that's a punch speed and not someone being like, yeah! Or, you know, this kind of jerk is violent, where this kind of jerk is like, oh, they're flirting.
This kind of jerk is a stanky jerk.
Oh! Wait, should we talk about our college, what we did in college quickly?
Oh, sure, I would love to.
We'll go back and forth. So that was one thing I did.
Yes. Actually, I'll be wondering, my freshman year of college, I didn't do squat. I was kind of a nerd. But then my sophomore year, I joined the tours program, which actually you were a director in at the time, or a coordinator. Pardon me.
I was on the board for hiring.
On the board. I was a shoo-in.
You will put it that way.
In all credit, I was an excellent tour guide. I was a
wonderful.
very good tour guide. I know all the fun facts.
What was your best joke on your tour?
My best joke?
Yeah.
Oh, there were so many. My favorite joke was we talked about clubs at some point in the tours, and the tours community would divide them into 4 categories. I call them the 4 P's of clubs: philanthropy, professional, fun with a PH, and then cultural with a silent P. And I made that up just on one tour because I was bored. And then apparently in the next training session for the next year, they taught that as though it was like law. And I overheard this one new hire saying like, oh, I just don't like the 4 P's. Like, do I have to say that? I kind of did like a double take, like, what? Like, no, of course you don't. Like, that's my joke. What are you talking about? Because
they give you like a script and they like help you with it. That's so major.
I was like, I'm there.
Actually, I'll say my favorite joke first.
Yeah.
This was like another one of like, you only get it if you're listening.
Yeah.
So we had something called the inverted fountain, and it has like a middle area that like seemingly goes down to infinity. So I would like tell the story about the inverted fountain, the traditions, whatever. And at the end of it, I'd be like, and if you're interested in studying abroad, this is actually the best and quickest way to do so. If you jump through, you actually pop out in Johannesburg, South Africa. You just have to make sure you bring your passport. It goes right through the planet. And then I would just turn and start walking away, like not even wait for laughs. And then I would just like be walking, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like that is so silly. Like that's not how you study abroad. Like your passport." So I just love like people laughing when I'm just like walking away from the situation.
They ate it up.
But one fun part of the UCLA tours program was we had like a night at the beginning where we all got to know each other, and they gave you a task, and the task wasn't meant to like humiliate you or anything. It was just like to get you out of your shell so that we could become better friends. And my year, I had to become a narwhal in 60 seconds. So they had like seen my YouTube channel beforehand, and I guess my body painting at the time, I was like doing body painting. I'll put up a few pictures. And so they're like, let's make this kid get into a narwhal in 60 seconds. No, I know. I was like devastated and so scared. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is my first chance at like meeting this new group of friends. Like the tour guides were very outgoing people, like from all over campus. So I was like, I want to make a good impression. So I pre-painted my whole body as a narwhal, and I wore tearaway clothes with a Speedo on.
Oh, that's impressive.
So in front of everyone, I did a really fast face.
It's risky with the Speedo too.
I know. And then I whipped out a bald cap that had a horn that I made out of foam attached to it, or a swim cap, not a bald cap. So I put on the swim cap, the narwhal horn came on. Everyone's like, no way, like that's crazy. Then I brought out flippers that I had painted the colors of the thing, like fins, swim fins. Put the swim fins on. They're like, no way. Then my shirt tore away. Then the pants tore away.
Oh my God.
I was like, yes. That was drag.
That's iconic.
I was really proud of it.
I didn't know about that. That's
really
awesome.
Yeah, I have a video.
I would love to see that video, actually.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that.
I always forget you had a college experience before I show up.
I know. I did. Yeah.
I played the nose recorder. I had to pretend I was a British superstar.
Recorder.
Yeah. I always back to the nose recorder. It's always a hit.
It's always a hit.
It always lands, like no matter what. But I will say, if I were to apply for college again, I would be nervous these days.
Scared for my life.
Scared for my life. I mean, thank God that we got in when we got in. And frankly, that our ACT score was, I feel like a dick bragging about our ACT score.
It's so stupid, but it's unfortunately it mattered.
But also like my God, yeah. Who knows where I would have ended up if like that score hadn't mattered, or like with the amount of applicants to each school now. Like I talked to some of my former bosses, talk about like, their kids graduating or applying to college, and they're just scared for it. Like it's such competition now. Because
standardized testing scores are a better representation of your zip code than your academic ability.
True.
And I say that nerdy, but that is the truth.
It's very true. It's such a difficult answer or question to answer.
Well, yeah, because people don't want to hear that, but it is in fact the reality. Because I mean, I'll be candid. Like my mom helped me get a tutor for like 1 or 2 sessions, and it helped so much. Like
mine as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if you can't afford the tutor, it is unfair. So I'm glad it's like going away with it. I'd be terrified. I will say, if I was a high school drag queen, baby, that's a lock. Let me walk into Harvard right now. Baby, that's a lock.
That's easy.
Oh my God, Stanford.
Easy
I wouldn't even submit any academics. I'd send one selfie like this. I'd say, coming.
I'd be there in 5.
On the way. To all my high school students, if you want to get into college, show up and present yourself as a drag queen. I'm only half kidding, Kimmer too.
Honestly, that would get you into almost any college you want.
And happy almost Pride Month!
We're so close. Oh my God.
I can't stop thinking.
I know. I had a great bit of the week.
We're on to the bit of the week.
What was it?
It's on the tip of his tongue.
I didn't tell you before,
no.
Did I? Yes, I recall.
The bit of the week.
Woo! Actually, I will say the bit of the week is a bit of a mislabeling of the situation. It's more like the bit of the month or the year or the 2 years.
Oh, this is a major one.
Because not it's major. It's a long-term investment bits. It's a consistent.
You got to play the long game.
Bits. And this bit, it's very simple. You pick one word, and you just mispronounce it. You just mispronounce it, and you never let up, despite everything. No matter what anyone says, you just never let up.
Are you going to give your example, or do you not want to give away your real example?
My real example?
See, he's not going to give it away. But so what would be a good example of this? Like, it's a word that you say enough. You want to pick a word that you say like maybe like once a month, right? It can't come up too much because then it's like, okay, stop. But it has to come up enough that like people around you start to kind of grasp onto it.
It's like perhaps the word ocean. You could say ocean instead.
Yeah, it's like the ocean.
Yeah, it's the ocean. And
that's a really good one.
I know. And they're like, wait, you mean the ocean? Like, no, the ocean. Like, and they're like, Zach, what are you talking about?
The big body of water, the ocean.
The ocean. They're like, what? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Scandinavian. Like, it's just how it's pronounced.
Is that like a bay? Like, what do you want me to call it? A lake? I'm pretty sure that's the ocean.
That's the ocean. And just year in, year out, you do not yield. Oh, it's one of the simplest joys.
I think it's funniest even when you like don't even bring like an accent or anything into it. You're just like, that's the ocean.
That's the ocean.
Like, what do you like? I don't know. It's just always been the ocean to me. How do you say it?
How you pronounce it. It's the ocean.
That must. I guess it's like an East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, the English pronunciation is ocean.
Yeah. And every time you'll get someone who frankly, they take the bait and like, no, it's ocean. Like, we'll get into an argument with you, and that just makes it so much funnier. Because no, it's the ocean.
It's the ocean.
It's the ocean.
A real life example of this is crawfish. I was growing up in Northern Virginia, and like they were teaching crayfish. I was like, y'all sound stupid. Like, I grew up in New Orleans. I promise it's crawfish. And everyone's like, well, actually, Miss Foster said it was crayfish. I was like, I don't care.
Shut up.
I was like, have you sucked on their heads before out of a crawfish boil? Like, I knocked my earring off. I'm getting so upset.
Oh my God.
And so we were like getting fights. It's like, I was like, that is a crawfish.
That is
like, but there's a Y. I was like, I don't care.
Shut up.
Wait, is there a Y or is it? No, it's a W. So why are you saying?
Yeah, no, it is. Right?
Oh, so that's why they were saying crayfish. Because wait, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. This is what I'm
crawfish.
saying.
Yeah, it's a crawfish.
Yeah, I don't know. Crayfish. No.
Crawfish. Well, yeah, they are wrong.
No.
They were in Virginia saying that.
You're in Virginia, acting a fool,
acting brand new,
being ignorant. Gosh.
Can I share a funny story with you? When I was in elementary school, I'm of German descent. My grandparents immigrated from Germany. Sure. My mom is German. So I spoke a little bit of German growing up, and I would teach kids on the schoolyard. I would tell them this is a bad this is how you cuss in German. You say "Ich liebe dich," and they'd run around and they'd say "Ich liebe dich" to each other and be like, "Ah ha ha." You know what it means?
What?
It means I love you.
That's amazing.
I know. So they're just like, I love you to each other.
Oh.
They had no idea.
We need more of that.
I know.
We need more of that energy.
More positive energy. But yeah, that is the long form bit of the week.
Look into it. Invest. It's an investment property. Yeah, it'll grow over time.
It will. Dividends.
Dividends.
Fun fact, I believe Microsoft just announced its first ever dividend a few weeks ago.
And Zach, what is a dividend?
ECON
on me with Zach.
Ding ding. Simply put, if you own a stock or sometimes a mutual fund, the company will pay you what's called a dividends. Wah wah.
No, I'm kidding.
It's usually not
ECON on me with Zach. Ding.
It's usually only like 25 cents a share or something like that. It's not a lot.
And it's paid yearly.
Sometimes it's like at the company's discretion normally if they want to pay it. It's like if they had a profitable year and want to share that profit with their shareholders, they'll pay a dividend, and like that usually boosts the value of the stock because like it's factoring in the dividends, so it's a bit more expensive. But it's just like it just gets paid cash to your account. Generally, you reinvest the dividend, and that's where like compound interest comes into play. Where like if you invest more over time, it's like a logarithmic curve where it goes like up exponentially. You know,
gotcha.
Indeed, yeah.
So for the gay people at home, that would be like a stiletto versus a flat.
Yes, precisely.
Big elevation.
Precisely. Start investing early, kids. Compound interest. Actually, I will say this is kind of mind blowing. Like the difference of like 5 or 10 years, if you invest like the same amount or the same amount of time, in like 30, 40 years, it's the difference of like
millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
We'll put a graphic on the screen if you actually like. Again, unfortunately, we're smart, so it's a burden that we carry.
Oh heavens!
I don't think I've said on the pod. Do you know what DIVOS were? So, like, every once in a while, someone will come up to me in drag, and they'll be like, "Oh, like that was like a really clever number. Like, you're smart, huh?" Like asking us a question, and my response, which I'm like so proud of, is, "Yeah, it's a burden." Like, I love that response because it like acknowledges like I agree, I am in fact smart, and like secondly, it's like. Yeah, like I also am aware that it makes my life more complicated. That I can't just like go around life like being la 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 la.
If you were any less smart, you wouldn't have stress streams over boxing love.
So one of the Pride Month looks, which you're about to see, the orange one, I have this really cool detail. I guess I can tell you it's coming out soon. And the detail for the orange look, I wanted to add like a brick for just like a quick little Stonewall reference, just add a little extra touch. And I was like, how am I going to paint this onto the boxing gloves that I'm using? Like, I'm so nervous. I am being completely candid and honest with you when I tell you it took me no less than 60 seconds and a Sharpie. And it looks really cool, graphic, and cartoony. It's just like little details where it's like, I want everything to do the best that I can. I understand being perfect is like, talk about a burden. But,
come on. Oh, come on now.
But, you know, like being on top of everything because I'm juggling so much all the time. It's been a humbling experience, we'll put it that way.
Intelligence, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I usually wear 2.
I know.
Double stacked.
So your neck is strong at this point.
That's my favorite innuendo for a fellatio. Is what? You want me to slang neck? You want me to throw some neck?
I like the verb to fellate. You want to fellate me?
Oh, you're trying to fellate?
Trying to fellate? Ew! Slang neck is good.
Trying to slang some neck?
Trying to slang some neck. I got steel cables back here, baby. Woo! Yeah. Well, do you want to do educate the straights?
Sure, let's educate the straight.
Straight, come on in.
Come on in. Is there a straight with us anywhere?
Oh wait! Oh, it's me! What if it just came out right there?
Right. Okay, my educate the straight is the concept of being intersex.
Oh.
Do you know anything about that?
Intersex?
Intersex.
No, what is intersex?
So intersex is the concept of
glamour and comedy.
It's yeah. Intersex is the intersection of glamour and comedy. No, intersex is being born with more. Your genitals don't necessarily represent what biologically the rest of your body might explain, or vice versa, or certain sexual organs are more developed or less developed. And did you know about 1 out of 100 people are intersex?
1 out of 100?
I know, so much bigger than I just researched this. It's so much more bigger of a population. And for a lot of intersex people, they don't even know this is happening. So like it's interesting because as it gets more as people get more educated on it, more people are understanding their relationship to it. But a lot of trans people, like have experiences where they go through their transition later in life and they learn that like their parents at birth, potentially took home a male, and then they realize they're like, oh, like this isn't this genitals is not perhaps developing correctly. So there are corrective surgeries that happen, and usually the parents actually have a choice to make where they're like, okay, is it going to go this way or this way in terms of like the binary that we have? And because of stigma and everything, usually the choices are not made for the benefit of the child. The choices are made for what would fit best into society.
Wait. Sorry. To clarify, they come home with like the inner organs of like, say, a female perhaps, but have a penis as a male. And so then the parents have corrective surgery done to...
So there's like a lot of different scenarios. It's like not like A or B at all. It's like a lot of different development can happen in like a lot of different ways internally and externally. And I don't want to pretend like I'm an expert on this. I just think it's a good thing to talk about because it's something that is not presented a lot of information about. So feel free to do any informational research you want about what it means to be intersex in the community. But essentially, yeah. So the babies have different levels of development in their genitals because throughout the way that like the body is made is like eventually, oh God, I don't want to say something wrong. I'm trying to literally remember back to high school science, but I think like the testicles and like the ovaries are like a split from each other. Like
really,
I might have to cut that out if I'm completely wrong, but so yeah, so like they have different developments in their genitals and their sex organs, and based on like other parts of the body and like the sex that is perceived based on chromosomes, the parents have a choice to make. And it's usually obviously behind closed doors a lot of the time because people don't want to talk about that kind of thing. It makes people uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I don't want my child to be born into this world and immediately be like an enigma.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's like an interesting because it just is a direct attack on the gender binary and like, completely different from, because I think the only thing people know about is like the idea of like a hermaphrodite, which is having like both male and female genitals. And that's, I think that in the reality of the situation, intersex is more likely to be the outcome.
Well, 1 in 100, that's a very high number.
Very high.
Like someone we know could easily be a...
Yeah, so it's just very interesting. And a lot of people, I think, don't even know that they're intersex. It's something that's hidden from people.
Yeah.
Because they don't want... the parents want to protect their kids, but like, what does it mean? What is the correct answer? I don't know, to be honest.
It's a very difficult question.
Difficult question.
Very difficult question.
But something interesting. Isn't that good? Educate the straight?
That's a very good educate the straight. That might be one of your best ones yet.
Oh! And hopefully if I said anything wrong or if I didn't say the verbiage correctly, then let's just take my words as an opportunity to begin our education with each other and not the Bible, because we don't do Bibles here.
No. No Bibles.
No Bibles.
No Bibles. Wait, educate the straights.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Excellent.
Can you believe the glamour? Oh, wait, I need to say where I got this dress. And you need to say where you got your suit.
Oh, of course.
This is, I'm really proud of this camera too. This is a dress that Violet Chachki wore when she toured with Dita Von Teese. And thank God it's stretch fabric, because the size of my waist and the size of Violet's waist, I mean, just centimeters apart, really.
Millimeters.
Just millimeters, but I want to make sure it fits perfectly. So, no, I'm like so happy to have this. Violet did like a shop Violet's closet. She was getting rid of some garments, and I got this and the Bob Mackie, which we talked about on the pod, but I haven't worn yet. So I love this look. I wore this to Snapchat.
Bob Mackie.
Bob Mackie.
Bob Mackie.
Here's my Snapchat card. Oh my God, the government
you left
name.
It there. Oh, the government name. Is that your social security number as well?
Yes, 1, 2.
Okay, for our audio listeners,
Are you ready for our social security number?
221
76
69
34
42
87
30
1. Audio listeners, thanks for hanging in with us this episode. I'm sorry that we haven't checked in earlier.
We have not.
But I want you to know that in a deep, dark ocean, you are that scary fish with the light bulb from Finding Nemo for me.
So true.
Mm-hmm. What are they to you, Zach?
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea,
yes,
I'll sail the world to find you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. That was Bruno Mars. Well, I guess we want to do our Twink Twink Twunks of the week.
It's time for the Twink Twink Twunk of the week.
Twink Twink Twunk.
Okay, my twink is cleavage.
Oh
my god, it's cleavage.
Not the cleavage I like. Twunk Twunk Twunk. Nah, I'm kidding.
Oh my god. What do you think of like your butt crack being counted as cleavage?
It does?
What do you think? I'm asking. I've heard it thrown around before.
I don't know. Cleavage to me is breasticles.
It has to be breasticles.
It has to be breasticles. Or it's just, that's a nomenclature. I'm not sure
I would agree with you.
But
I think the other one's whack, but I was going to see what you're going to say.
no, I know. It's yeah.
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, I would
especially
agree.
for a woman of culture and glamour like myself.
I mean, well, precisely. All right, so my twink, little wall air fresheners. You plug them in.
Love. What are those called? Wallflowers? They're called
Diffusers.
wallflower diffusers.
Diffusers, yes. Love diffusers.
Bath and Body Works, baby. Oh my
Turns
god.
me out. Expensive, but it turns me out.
Yeah, if you don't show up to Bath and Body Works on one of the days of their sales, I don't know what you're doing. Okay, my twank of the week. It's car brakes.
Oh.
I have to say, I don't. Okay, no, I'm gonna get in trouble for that. Never mind.
What was it going to be?
They make weird noises.
They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to make weird noises. They're supposed to be silent. Do your brakes make weird noises?
They squeak.
Did you get them checked out?
My person said that because I didn't get the brakes from the dealer, they might squeak a little bit, but it's okay. Okay, sorry that my twink has started existential crisis on the planet. I'm sorry for sharing my truth.
I'm just, if any part of your car makes noise, it's not like the engine. Like, I don't know. That's freaky.
What's your twink?
Hay bales is my twink.
Hay
Hay
bales.
bales. Hay bales. Hay bales.
Did you ever go to pumpkin patches growing up?
Love the pumpkin patches, the mazes, the corn. I love it all. The pumpkins, of course.
The snacks, the like caramel corn. Ooh, the apple cider.
I know.
Ooh, the apple cider.
And every young child, I feel like it's such a cute photo of them. Like, I have a great photo of myself, like holding a pumpkin and pumpkin. It's just like, it's weird to call young kids photogenic, but if you're at a pumpkin patch,
it's hard.
You're photogenic there.
Major.
It's major. Okay, my twunk of the week: convention halls. Those like big halls, like Comic-Con San Diego.
Yes.
Like literally, when I was at Comic-Con for the first time, you would love it. It's like the expo that we go to. Like in
I've
UCLA.
actually been once before.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, like the convention floor. I got to what I thought was the end. I'm like, weird they actually have like a giant. Because I was like, I've walked so far.
Yeah.
I was like, it's weird they have a giant mirror here on the wall that kind of reflects back. I get to it. It's a whole nother half of like huge, and multiple stories.
As a kid too, it's like, oh my god,
insane
art. I mean, it's major.
Comic-Con. We should go back.
I would love to.
It's amazing, dude.
My twunk of the week is bowling shoes.
Ooh.
I know. I like, we take them and we put them on. I don't know whose feet they've been in. I don't know whose socks have touched them. They are so industrial. To be honest, I'm not entirely clear why we need bowling shoes.
Grip. You slip.
Oh, so it has more grip?
It's
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But I mean, the fact that we all are just accepting, we're just throwing on some random shoes that I'm sure Miss Bowling Alley employee did not think about cleaning. Like,
No.
It's twunk. It's twunk.
They have that spray thing. They go, psst. That's it.
Yes.
I agree. That is incredibly twunk. You want to kiss me right now, don't you?
The lights went out in Georgia.
That's all the time we have for today, huh?
That's a wrap, baby.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for being here, baby.
They have no idea.
Check out all of our social media, Twink Twank Twunk Pod, everything except for Twitter, where it is
Wink, wink, wonk. Because no, it's X now, so you can't have T's apparently.
Oh, really? That's funny. Write that down. Write that down.
That was good. All right.
Our personal socials, we're doing a lot of busy, fun stuff in our personal lives. Of course, you get all the details up close and personal on the pod.
Obviously.
If you want to see, still images, so you don't have to screenshot for your spank bank.
Ew.
I gotta go. Bye, everybody.
Watching. Ew.
Yeah.